Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's topic for discussion is the third kinematic variable, which is the direction of displacement. Okay, if the displacement or motion of a segment is confined to a single axis, that is the rotatory or the translatory motions occurring around an axis or along an axis, it results in two directions of rotations. For example, if you take the rotatory motion, the direction of the movement of a segment occurring around an axis can be described as occurring in a clockwise and a counterclockwise directions. The clockwise direction is assigned a negative sign and the counterclockwise direction is assigned a positive sign. This again in turn depends upon the viewer's perspective, okay, because of the occurrence of the two directions of rotations around the three possible cardinal axes, we can describe there are three pairs of anatomic rotations available to that segment. Okay, what are these three pairs of anatomic rotations? That is, first pair is flexion and extension. The second is abduction and adduction. The third pair is medial and lateral rotations. Okay. Now let us see in which axes and which planes these three pairs of anatomic rotations occur. The first pair is this pair, guys. This is a pair, flexion 1, 2. This is one pair. Abduction and adduction, this is the second pair. Medial and lateral rotation, this is the third pair. Okay. The flexion and extension occurs in the sagittal plane and the coronal axis. They occur in the movements are uniaxial and uniplanar, but they occur in opposite directions. Okay, the axis is coronal axis. Coronal axis is also known as the x-axis, and the sagittal plane. Okay, now the abduction and adduction occurs in coronal or the frontal plane and anteroposterior or z-axis. Okay. Now the medial rotation and the lateral rotations occur in transverse plane and y-axis or vertical axis, also known as longitudinal axis. Okay, these are the movements or the three pairs of anatomic rotations and in which axes and which planes they occur. This is with respect to that of the rotations. Okay, now I'll explain. There are some exception, guys. I'll explain about these. For example, if you take the first carpometacarpal joint of the thumb, that is the articulation between the trapezium and the proximal, the base of the first metacarpal, these does not apply. If you take the flexion and extension of the thumb, the axis and planes are opposite. That is, the flexion and extension occurs in the coronal or the frontal plane and the AP and or Z axis, and the abduction and adduction occurs in the sagittal plane and the coronal axis. This is an exception because this carpometacarpal joint of the thumb with a saddle joint or the cellar type of multi-axial synovial joint, in which the articular surfaces are in one direction they are convex and the other direction they are concave. Okay, now this again applies to the sternoclavicular joint also. Sternoclavicular joint is again a saddle type of joint or the sellar type of joint. Okay. Now this is with respect to that of the rotatory motion. And what happens to the translatory motion? If you take the translatory motion also occurs in one of the two directions. Translatory motion occurs in one of the two directions. And occurs around one of the three cardinal planes. Three cardinal axes. Okay. It occurs around one of the two directions, that is the clockwise or the counterclockwise directions, and one of the three cardinal axes. What are the axes? They are x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Okay. Translatory motion, as I described in the types of displacement video, translatory motion is also known as linear displacement. If the linear displacement of a body segment is occurring around x-axis, it is designated as positive sign if the displacement takes place in the right direction. Okay. If the displacement takes place in the right direction. And it is designated as negative sign if the linear displacement takes place in the left direction. Why? Because the x-axis runs from right side to left side. This is the, for example, assume this is the center of the mass. Okay, this is the x-axis in a human body. This is the x-axis in I will show you guys. Show you. For example, if you take a picture, okay. For example, if you assume this is the center of mass and this is the x-axis running from side to side, and if the linear displacement, this is the right side and this is the left side. Okay. If the linear displacement with respect to the x-axis takes place to the right side, then it is designated as positive sign. If the linear displacement along the x-axis taking place towards the left side, it is designated as negative sign. And if the linear displacement with respect to the y-axis is designated as positive sign if it takes place in the upward direction. With respect to that of y-axis, and it is designated as negative with respect to that of the y-axis in downward direction. Okay. Why? Because if you take again a picture, this is the center of mass, the y-axis runs from up to down. Okay. In this direction it is designated as positive, and in this direction it is designated as negative. Okay. Now what happens with respect to that of the z-axis? Z-axis runs from front to back. Okay. Z-axis runs from front to back. If the linear displacement with respect to that of the z-axis is designated as a positive if it takes place in a forward direction, this is in forward direction, and it is designated as negative if the displacement takes place in the backward direction. Okay. This is the backward and this is the forward. Okay. This is all about the direction of the displacement, guys. If you have any doubts, please don't hesitate to comment. I'll clarify your doubts, and in the next video we'll discuss the remaining variables. Okay, that is the magnitude of the displacement and the speed of the displacement. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.